welcome back. What the heck is happening?
Whoa.
What is being shared? Is that you? That's you.
It was.
Okay. What in the world?
That's Michael Grady,
welcome.
my friends, tweeting that.
That is. Yeah. What? I don't even know what that is in reference to.
I don't know, man. It's all flowers here. We got to give the man our flowers.
That's true. But anyways,
If someone can tell me what that is.
Ever come into a show. Do we have 13 people already? Welcome to Wolves
what's up,
After
everyone?
Dark, everyone. Timberwolves win again. We are now, what have we won? 4 in a row? Man.
In a row.
And we are in the 6th seed with 6 games left. Holy cow. We've got some comments.
Casper? Casper
Yeah.
goes, that's like some fucking AI art for Timberwolves winning 4 in a row or something like that.
Yeah, seriously. That is true.
That's funny.
Ian is here early. It's probably because of the late
Ian?
game. But
Yeah.
Ian,
Wow.
Slim Sniper, what a dunk. I have seriously, I mean, that wasn't like obviously we have to calm ourselves a little bit, but like for Jaden to dunk that in that moment in the game was like,
wow.
Oh my gosh. I wasn't expecting to have 2 games in a row where I jump out of my seat.
Yeah.
I mean, we're having fun. We're having fun. Light the damn beam.
Yeah. In Target Center. We have got to have our own beam, you know?
Yeah, we do. I don't even know what it would be, but I guess it's Arby's. But
what's up, Wombat? What's up, Scott Skoberg, Aaron L, Aaron Dubb, Nathan? Wow, it's nice to have you back, Nathan. Casper, Gerald. What's up, Gerald? I haven't seen you in the game chat. Maybe that's probably for the best. I don't know. We're winning.
Based on Cam.
Coincidence?
Yeah, Gerald, stay away. Stay far away, Gerald.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, the Timberwolves did win.
Dude, I wouldn't say a boring game. It was I wouldn't say like,
oh yeah,
it wasn't boring at all, but like nothing was happening for like 2.5 quarters. We were just trading buckets. They would score, we would score. They would not score, we would not score. It was crazy. Like Peterson, talked about how as long as they didn't score, if we weren't scoring, they weren't scoring last night in Golden State. But like, we were just trading buckets back and forth. And I was like, how could we pull away from this? Like they are, Gobert's back is now Fox's layup, or Fox's floater. And like they were finding small little ways to get buckets. Sabonis in the third quarter was like unstoppable, like 12 points on just spin moves. That was crazy. It was great. I don't know how to like really like pull away, like the way that we pulled away in that game against Sac the other time. It's like Anthony Edwards kind of showed out, and well, now we have like defense is our mantra, man. And like when the shot's not going, when the flow's not happening, like who do we go to? The answer is Naz Reid. The answer is fucking Jaden McDaniels. And that was like Herculean efforts from those two guys just to pull us into like just like to stay ahead of the game,
Yeah. I mean, I think I can't remember who tweeted it. It might have been Main Door, but they tweeted like the Timberwolves might just have a team. Like this is legit. We have Naz Reid. We have Jaden, who's like really like if you look at our starting 5, like he is arguably 4 or 5 in that, like or maybe not 5, but he's like 3 or 4. And he is out there dominating for us tonight, offensively and defensively. Naz is hammer dunking on people nightly. And we're not even talking about Anthony Edwards or Karl Anthony Towns. So, like, this is it's just so exciting. And, I will say, shout out to the Kings. I'm so happy for the Kings fans. Like, they deserve the playoffs.
Absolutely.
Like, just as much as we did last year. Like, we both were, like, teams that have been out of the playoffs for a very long time.
Yeah, like worst sports franchises in history.
100%. And they've had better, honestly, I mean, I don't mean to say this against the Timberwolves fans, but they probably had better fans than the Timberwolves fans. They have stuck with them. And did you hear, I mean, you heard how loud it was through like the speakers there tonight. It's been like that almost every day or every game for the past like 2 decades. Like they literally have been that loud the whole time. So, I mean, I'm happy. Obviously, they didn't get to clinch it tonight, but they're going to. And I hope we meet them in the playoffs. But I also hope that they do. I mean, hope they do well, just not against us. But no, I mean, this was just such a huge game for the Timberwolves to win. And a part of me wonders, we were talking about the game staying close the whole game for the most part and kind of just like nothingness happened. Is this like a sign? Is this just a couple games in a row where this has happened, or is this a sign of our team maturing? Because we have had this, we have these games where we go up by 20 and then we lose a 20-point lead. Think Memphis in the playoffs last year, where we were up every time and then we just lose it all. And it's heartbreaking because it's like, oh my gosh, we literally won like 6 games against them. Like, it's crazy. But then we lose 4-2 or something like that. I don't even remember what the final. Yeah, 4-2 in games. But like the last 2, we've been able to defend really well, keep ourselves close, and we have enough offensive talent to like score end of game. I don't know. I guess it's just something to kind of think, because this is good if we can keep playing like this and keep winning like this. But I don't know.
Yeah, Nathan. I don't know. This is a small comment. What was Grady and Pete talking about the music being played loud? Like, that was crazy to even hear through our and on the defensive end, they were like throwing like gunshots as like defense chants, and they were like blasting music. It was really interesting. Like, it's hard to hear. Apparently, like the refs whistle and everything. So, good for Sacramento, that area, NorCal. But good for Minnesota. We deserve a team that is growing, hungry for wins, maturing. What did Jim Pete say at the end? It's like, we brought in winners, and it's showing. Like, we had a total of like 6 or 7 turnovers tonight. That would have been 6 or 7 turnovers from our backcourt in a previous iteration of this team. We're playing defense, which gets stops, which pulls us in front when, they're struggling to get buckets and we're struggling to get buckets. Well, maybe they're just not as – they don't have a Gobert. They don't have a Jaden McDaniels. Like, so we just have those, like, so slight, like, advantages that we can take advantage of. And Jaden, dude, like, next level brain, like 5-heading this whole thing. 5, gets 5 fouls in that previous game, plays 10 minutes to play this, to get this type of output tonight. Because everyone looked like they were gassed. Jaden looked like he was like, I'm on fresh legs right now. So,
yeah,
honestly, kind of a dumb comment by me. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said that.
I totally missed it. I don't know. I was looking at the tier list.
Well, you want me to say it again? I can say it
again. And I was just thinking to myself, man, we really got to add Nickeil Alexander-Walker to the tier list.
We promised you that in the offseason content.
We promise at least by next year he'll be there.
Yeah, maybe. Free throws, my friend, there are still some growing pains that we need to address. Maybe second game in a row where there was a lack of flow. We didn't know whose turn it was to take shots. We didn't know like the best position. There was a couple times when like Kyle Anderson got a turnover because people weren't in the right spots and everything. Gobert had to play like point center at times, which was kind of funny. Like the throw, like the he gets the ball, he passes it because he can see the floor, but like we're having a hard time. But then we get to the line a lot. We take advantage of the fact that we're like a kind of a gritty team now, and we're not capitalizing on what gets us there. Like, what was that? Like 22 of 34 from the free throw line. That's 12 points left hanging.
Yeah.
And I would have expected like Gobert to be like half of those misses, but it's everyone else.
It really is everybody else. It's really weird.
Anthony Edwards went 4 for 8, like 50% from the free throw line.
That's bad.
Yeah.
And Ant has been like a little off lately. He just is like, I mean, he's coming back from injury, obviously, but he's also coming back from an illness. And I almost feel like that illness is maybe hurting him more. He just seems lethargic. He's not doing the same explosive moves that he was doing early, like in the middle of the season. And I'm not like super concerned yet, but like just knowing that we've seen that in the past, it is a little concerning. Even though I'm like the biggest Ant fan and I believe in him 100%, it's still just like, I hope that we aren't ever seeing that version of Ant in a playoff game, because sure, it's the regular season. I mean, we're basically in the playoffs now, but but still, I don't like seeing the like slow kind of nothingness. But Shut up, JJ. I knew you were going to say something.
Despite that, though, despite what we're seeing out there on the court, we pull out a win. This would have been a game for Ant to just take over, and then we would have had nothing to say negative about what his game has come back since injury. Yeah, he's looking a little sluggish out there. Yeah, he's maybe like chucking as much as he shouldn't, but we're able to take that in stride because our defense is saying, go ahead and find your rhythm. We're going to make a stop. So then in case you make a mistake you miss, I don't know. It's cool to see a couple of others show up tonight where they didn't last night or the previous games. The Jalen Noels, the Jordan McLaughlins, we kind of felt their presence tonight. And we needed it. End of back-to-back. It's like we have to get the next man up. We don't have Cat now to have that extra 20-point scorer. So we pulled to the bench. We said, please, go up to bat and give us some wins, give us some dingers.
Don't do Wongcho and you'll be okay.
Yeah, totally. And good redemption game from Jalen Noel, I think. Sure. I think his burst in the third quarter was necessary because we were really at a halt. So even Peterson was talking about in the second quarter and third quarter of the Golden State game, we had a 9-minute stint where we weren't scoring anything. I was kind of feeling that way in a small way in this game tonight. And, Noel provided a burst that we needed just to stay, ahead, just 1 point ahead. It was so interesting. We were just trading buckets back and forth, no separation. Max was 3 points. It's crazy to see. But they got some ballers on that squad. But as Solidus T says, I feel strong about our chances against them. De'Aaron Fox has, I feel a little concerned against a De'Aaron Fox team because he's so fast. How do we contain him? But he contained himself. After blitzing for 20, 22 points in the first half, I don't know. I didn't see him until the very end of the game. So pretty interesting.
Yeah, the Kings, it's kind of funny because it's a very similar situation to last year when we went up against Memphis. It's sure, Memphis has some great players, and obviously they beat us, but 100% beatable. We should have beaten Memphis last year. Like I said, we basically won every single game against them. But then we just gave up 20-point leads almost in every single game. And this is a Kings team that I honestly, the Kings probably worry me just a slight amount more than the Grizzlies did last year. I mean, the Grizzlies were scary, but we were obviously able to contain Ja pretty well for the most part. So then it came down to Desmond Bane and Dylan Brooks hitting shots. And if they hit them, they won the game. If they missed them, they didn't. So that felt good. But now this team, you've got Malik Monk who can go off at any time. You've got Herter who was not good tonight, but can go crazy off. They've got Keegan. They have a lot of 3-point shooters. And then on top of that, they've got Sabonis. They just have a lot of good players. And then you were talking about, they have Fox, who's just this killer in the clutch. So they have a lot of different elements. However, they are, I don't want to say fraudulent because they're not fraudulent, but I was thinking about it during the game. It kind of reminds me of it's not even fully, but it kind of reminds me of the old Utah teams with Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell, where it's in the regular season, they're always going to be a high win team because they just have a lot of players that can make a lot of plays. But then when it comes down to winning time, winning games, playoff games, they may not be able to execute to the same level that they can in a regular season game. So I would like that matchup, I think. Yeah. But I wouldn't mind Memphis. And I maybe wouldn't even mind. I don't want to be playing in the play-in, but I wouldn't mind going up against Denver either. I don't know. Denver doesn't.
Wow, there's so much to unpack here. Some awesome commentary from our peanut gallery here. First of all, it is an excellent sign. Towns and Edwards in the previous game, they didn't look 100%. Towns kind of carrying the load in the end of the game to get us the win was awesome. Ant hitting that 3 at the end of the game tonight was also sweet because we didn't, with 4 minutes to go or whatever, we didn't know what he was getting. We didn't really know what we were getting from Ant. We at least had that, and his defense was there. I thought his defense was there. Offense will need to take a couple of games, I think, to get him back into shape. And wow, I think so too. But we got the Okogis and we got the TJ Warrens to deal with too on that end, and they got like Terrence Ross as well. So so much firepower on the Suns side, but also I feel strongly that I think CP3 is like CP 1.5. Like
he is falling off.
He is falling.
Yeah.
So, Jaden and Ant can, I think, pretty much contain the perimeter and or like negate whatever output they have. It's like also KD versus Towns, and how like they would guard each other would be crazy. And,
yeah, that would be really weird.
And how Josh Okogie fits in the mix and everything. Yeah, I am afraid of that. I think that's such a wild card, and I want to see them play one series before like I really want to go up against them. But like Dallas seems fine to me to play against. Like as you see Denver. Like I think Denver will probably get a heaping help from just like the altitude and all that stuff. So I think I would rather face them later. But like here we are talking about who we can match up against.
If you really want to get what's the term 5-head about it or like deep into it, like I think the matchup that you want to be is you either want to be in the 2-7 or the 3-6 because that is one half of the bracket is the 2-7 and 3-6. The other half is the 1-8-4-5, and you don't really want to be in that 1-8-4-5. So like I think if we can be the 6th seed, I think that's like where we should kind of be. I mean, obviously, whatever. If you get the 5th seed, I guess you play the 4th.
You take it. We might stumble into it. Like I don't know because there's so many people thinking, hey, like we should get the third seed, right? Because everyone's thinking like, oh man, the Kings are going to be an easy out.
Yeah. They may
not be one. Look at this comment. Like the Kings games are going to be insane.
Yeah,
they're going to be like drunk,
dude,
from the tip.
Crazy.
But also just everyone's going to try to jockey for position, and one team is going to not get there. Or like several teams are going to only one team is going to get there. So
which is exactly why I'm going to jump to another JJ comment. This is the JJ show. Hopefully this team doesn't slip mentally because, winning 3 and 4 in a row is great. We've won 4 games in a row. And these were the 4 games. We've hyped it up for the whole month. We talked about this last week being the week for the Timberwolves and really kind of the league or the West, I should say, because we play 4 of the top teams in the West or 4 important teams in the West this week. That directly affect our tiebreakers with people and our seeding. And we are so far 2 of 2, which is amazing. And if we can still win one of the 2 games remaining this week, and especially if we could somehow sneak 2 out, that's fantastic because we've talked about it before. The last 4 games of the year are way easier than this week. We play the the Blazers, who we're not going to have Lillard. We play the Nets, who I guess they're like in the playoffs, I think, right now. They're like a 6 or 5 seed even, maybe. I can't remember. I could be wrong. And then we play the Spurs, and then we play the Pelicans. So, like, those last 4 games are way better than the 4 games we're playing this week.
But the Pelicans are rolling right now, and I'm afraid. Huh?
But that's like the only game out of those 4 that's like concerning.
Oh, remember the first 10 games? You were like, "Oh, let's go 9-1." Ooh, let's preseason predictions. Oh, we're gonna lose 1. We're gonna have some load management. We're gonna have some straight voltage. We're gonna go 8-2.
Well,
those 4 games are going to be very important for us.
They are going to be very important.
We could slip. We could get so high on ourselves, as JJ is saying, and we're just saying like those games are going to be easier. I don't think so.
Yeah, I hope so.
It's great. Yeah, it's great to see all of you here. B-Rex rep. I think this is hilarious. Company in misery. Like they've been so bad for so long, just as us, as long as us, as the same as with us. So it would suck to have like that seed, like one team had to go home, after that. But like, I wouldn't mind that matchup. Like the way that we just play them tonight, we're gonna have Towns. We're gonna have this like extra loaded like layer of preparedness, and they are not a defensive team. They have no like. I'm looking at Kessler, Edwards, and Davion Mitchell, and they're off their bench and they're playing meaningful minutes. But like in a game like tonight, they weren't needed. They needed so much more firepower. So like it has to come from their others, and Sabonis is a foul-prone machine, like leads the league in fouls. If not, it's Jaden. If not, it's Cat. But Cat missed like 60 games or whatever. So, and hey, what's up, my friend Drew, who's going ham against what's his friend? Who's the dude who's on Twitter who's always posting shit? He's like a Knicks fan. And damn it, I had it on the tip of my tongue. Fuck. Anyways, you're like going ham on him on Twitter. It's really funny.
FaZe Dranagi.
Yeah, and the Chuck Daza, welcome Daza. Yeah, ideally, probably we do finish in the 6th seed. We're just kind of looking at matchups right now, and it's funny to talk about matchups. Let's get there first. Like, I'm scared of playing the Lakers in the play-in. I'm just straight up going to say that. I'm scared of playing the Warriors again. I think that's not that reality of when we won last night. I don't know if we can duplicate that. I really don't think so. But we might match up well against them. I don't know when Wiggins comes back. I'm afraid of like how Gary Payton, could fit in the mold. He looks great. Like I don't want anything to do with that play and shit. So I think the 6th seed might feel great. Yeah.
Yes, little left broken arm, or as I refer to you as little foot broken arm. Rob Perez, is that who you're talking about?
Rob Perez. I'm such an idiot. Yeah, it's Rob Perez.
Yeah, he went to the game tonight in anticipation that the Kings were going to win. He hired a videographer so that they could be there and like film with the beam or whatever. Get out of here. Like, get out of here with this. I'm so happy we won.
Yeah.
Just because of that. But I agree. I think for me, the win is less about caring where we are in like the 4-5 matchup, the 3-6 matchup. I just want to be in a playoff game and not have to think about a play-in game. The play-in should be us sitting at home watching the games for fun.
Laughing at them.
Like, we should just be like, oh, look at these guys fighting each other trying to get into the playoffs. That should be us. And then we should be laughing at a team that's jumping up on the scorers tables and throwing their jerseys into the stands. We should be the ones laughing at them, not being them. But so the 6th seed is just a huge win for me if we can get there. That'd be awesome. But
surprising the Kings didn't play Metu, didn't play Rashawn Holmes. I feel like those players are difference makers in a lot of ways, but maybe it's just matchup based. Maybe they just like chose to do this because that's what they've been doing. I haven't been following their team that much. Maybe they're injured or anything. The Alex Len minutes were pretty positive for them. Enough about the Kings, though. I thought we felt that we were getting kind of a slight whistle. Like in the third quarter, especially like second quarter, third quarter, we were not getting any whistles. And maybe after a favorable first quarter, I was just like, I'm kind of like flabbergasted, like the types of calls that like Conley was getting, like touch fouls, like barely even grazing them fouls. It's like pretty wild. And even Jim Pete said something kind of wild. He was like, these are playoff like games. We need to bring the best. And I'm like, what are you saying? Are you wanting to get like shit curb?
Yeah. Like, that was a crazy comment for an announcer to say.
But he also was like, hey, Grady, you've been in the club.
There was like a bunch of
nonsense. Katie Storm was like, hey, we got some 50 Cent represent. Hey, you like those songs? You like those songs? We just don't know, Grady was like, I'm just gonna not say that was the best fucking thing. I think Grady is the best thing that's happened. He's so funny. He's so good. It was so funny. It's every time I tune in to a broadcast, I don't know if it's our broadcast. It takes like a good 15, 20 seconds to be like, it's Grady's voice.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% like,
It's not the same as Dave, where we knew immediately that there was turbulence. It was wild. But also the Jim Netflix and chill reference was insane. Like,
what is that?
What are we talking about?
What are we talking about? Cool.
You want to go into the
tier list?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let me figure out how to do this. I forgot to share my screen beforehand, so now I have to make sure I don't share anything wild.
Points of the paint. 60 for the Kings, 54 for the Timberwolves. Fast break points, 9 for the Kings, 6 for the Timberwolves. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
6 fast break points.
Oops.
That was one of them was like a Jalen layup or something. Mm-hmm. And then second chance points where I felt like we were doing pretty well on. Apparently, the Kings with 19 and the Timberwolves with 12. And so they won all those battles. Yeah. So where did we? And then we had this defensive 3 seconds nonsense, and then we missed at 12 free throws. So where did we actually like win in the margins? we just shot better than them. We had 4 more threes, and that's the difference in the game. Honestly, it's like 4 more threes than them.
Yep.
5 for 27 in today's modern NBA. They can't they can't compete if they shoot 5 threes in a game.
Mm-hmm.
Look at all those pretty heads only. Heads only fans.
Yeah.
Cool. We had a pretty sizable lead in the second, early in the first, and I think maybe even the second quarter. It was 13, I think. And they just clawed back in, and we had like our bench out there, and no one was getting a bucket. I think Nas was back out. I think we had like Gobert in there and stuff like that. They were just clawing their way back in, and ones after and ones, and but I think perseverance finds a way. Jaden with a couple and ones himself. Kyle Anderson with a couple threes.
Jalen
with some floaters.
Jalen Noel, like you mentioned earlier, in the third quarter was huge, and he should have been he should have had several and ones that weren't called, but he still made a bucket. But
yeah, and there's like a healthy dosage of Nas. I think that's just been such like a weird trait to our team is we're defensive oriented with a splash on offense and from our bench, with Noel and Nas, and even a little bit of like if we throw in Luka Garza in there or something. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool as we get our team fully healthy and accustomed to each other now and figuring out rotations. It's a great time to be peaking into the playoffs.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Let's talk about some of our bench players. Not too many to be talked about. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and you know what? I'm going to lump in Jordan McLaughlin because it's a midnight show right now.
Yep.
Both of them, they tallied 3 points, but
combined
25 minutes combined, 4 assists combined, and a whole lot of nothing else. Our grades for our backup point guards in 3, 2, 1. Expected.
Yeah, expected. I was editing it as we went. Yeah, I mean, this is just what we needed from him tonight. We didn't. I mean, it was whatever.
Whoa! I don't want anyone to unsubscribe. So I need Nathan to defend himself. I'm willing to give him an A1 just to keep you around one more night.
Except
I didn't see anything from it except for a foul that shouldn't have probably been a foul. He missed his 3 free throws. I think the best thing that was he was just available was his best trait tonight. But maybe I'm wrong.
I think honestly he was like he's played better tonight tonight and other nights. But yeah, we are being held hostage.
We need you.
Yeah,
help me.
He's played better. I mean, obviously not A1, sorry, but no, like he was playing really bad for a stretch of games, and like he hasn't been scoring as much lately, but he's been defending a little bit better, and he's just not such a negative when he's out there, because there were times when we were bringing him into games and we'd go down by 10 instantly, like in lightning speed. So not existing is A1 caliber. Well, guess what? We'll say this: if we had his face, he'd be A1 tonight.
That's true. So you can just go to sleep
after the show
knowing the warm blanket and a picture of us with at A1. But he's not there, but you just have to imagine it. Speaking of imagining things, Jalen Noel got minutes tonight and performed 16 minutes, 14 points, 6 for 11, where it felt like his first stint was 0 for 1,000. In addition, 4 rebounds, which a couple of them were awesome to see that he could come in and scrum. And a couple fouls, which whatever, I don't care. This team fouls, and the refs have a really like slight whistle towards us. I feel, but I'm not going to complain too much because, unlike the previous games, I feel like we were giving kind of like we were able to play a little bit more tonight. A grade for our boy Jalen Noel. In 3, 2, 1.
B?
I was going to say B plus A minus. Like, I'm not expecting anything anymore from him.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I'm really not expecting that much from him. He definitely was better. The only thing that I'd say I really wish was little bit better. And I guess he shot 1 of 3 tonight, which isn't like insane from 3. But I just want more 3-point shots from him. I want him to be a little bit more of a 3-point threat, because when he's out there as like the main offensive threat, like the drives to the rim get scary when it's the only thing he does. And if we could kick it out to him for 3 and have like a little bit more confidence in him hitting those threes, I think that's where he does open up the ability to drive and hit threes and just be a super dangerous player. But tonight, as we mentioned at the beginning of the show, like, are we in the game after the third quarter if Jaylen Nowell's not playing? Yeah. I don't think so. So
yeah, we have quite a lot to make up, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think similarly to like Ant kind of feels like, okay, let me see my rhythm. Oh, it's not going in. Let me drive now.
Yeah.
And Jaylen Nowell has like a pretty interesting, like unreliable layup routine where he almost like jump stops before he tries to lay it in.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't look great. But when he has momentum on his side, I think it's better than when it's not. I'm in favor of a B for sure.
I think it's a B+, but yeah.
Yeah. And 4 in a row, man. It's pretty awesome to see and kind of like grade these guys kind of critically. When I think this is a really good time for the team to like. I was all smiles at the end of this game, dude. I was just like, everyone was cheering for each other, hugging each other. It was so fun to see Cat on the bench, just kind of like, doing whatever the fuck he does with his face. It's awesome, right? It's just good vibes around, and a team that looked like dead. Really like dead to rights, has really turned this thing around. And I don't even know if it's like after the All-Star break or anything. It was like something clicked. Maybe it was literally Mike Conley,
Yeah, it could be.
Naz Reid, 20 minutes, probably should have had 25, 26 minutes. However, 18 points, 7 for 12 from the floor. He's been our best offensive player as of late. 2 for 5 from 3. Got to the line a couple times. Of course, he missed a couple free throws, but 18 and 4 is not too shabby from our bench. From our bench big, who's just literally out there to score, man, and just great memes.
Yeah,
a grade for him in 3, 2, 1.
B.
I want to give him an A, but like
I do too. But it's like we're starting to expect just amazing things from Naz. Like, again, this is where we go 1-0 on the 50 center. This is where, like, at the end of the season, when we have all of our off-season content, we like Naz Reid's grade is gonna be like up there, because like for the season, what do we expect out of him? Certainly not what we've gotten. Way less than we've gotten, and he's just been winning us games. I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, he was another person that kept us in this game tonight, and I just love it because there's that clip of Mike Brown from the last time we played, and he's like, Naz Reid just kicked our ass or whatever he says. Yeah. Like, that's just amazing. And like, he had a really good game tonight, but I think it's probably a B, which is insane to say, but it's probably a B.
Yeah, 2 players from our bench with double figures is awesome. That's like 32, 35 points of our total score. That's a huge chunk. We needed to get to like 115, 116 just to win this game, honestly. The rest of our starters, every single one of them got into double figures. That's awesome. Like, no one person could have been targeted because in the third quarter, Kyle Anderson popped off for like 10 plus points. Like the second quarter, Anthony Edwards had like 8 or 10. In the late game, like Gobert went to the line a bunch. It's kind of interesting to see. And Conley kind of came out to play the fourth quarter as well because he had foul trouble to kind of diminish some of his early game like antics. He wanted to come in and play, but he couldn't because of foul trouble. And let's start with him. 27 minutes for Mike Conley, 6 for 8 from the floor. Holy shit! I didn't notice that. 2 for 3 from 3. 1 for 2 from 3. And that would be 16 points, 3 assists. No turnovers, 3 fouls, but that's okay. And he missed a clutch free throw, which is hilarious, but whatever.
Yeah, that was weird. I feel like he's missed a couple lately in like moments.
Yeah, but hey, you got a grade for Conley. I do.
I think I do.
In 3, 2, 1.
C.
B.
Oh. I guess, I mean, I don't really have any strong feelings. I just feel like this is close to what I expect from him. I guess he scored a little bit more maybe than I expected, but it's
Dane Moore has tweeted out that like it was like 39 to 40% 3-point, percentage that we're missing from D'Lo, and we gotta have to make that up somehow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Jim Pete said, "Who's leading our team in the clutch these days? In these days?" And it's Mike Conley. Mike Conley, to respond to Dane Moore's tweet, is at that clip, if not better. He shot 1 for 2 from 3. He's not 40%, but maybe he's not shooting the volume that D'Lo is. But apparently, according to the stat that Dane tweeted, he is. And that is kind of beside me. Like, I was not expecting that. And I think he understands his role. Mm-hmm. And in order for him to like perform in like the Utah days, it was actually to defer to get the young players their time. But it's like winning time in Minnesota, and we need our best players to play and best players to take the advantages that they're given, not just defer. And so I love that Conley, after a couple of games, have decided, hey, I don't want no zeros in my box score. He's going out. And so getting 16 points is damn near like required now. And so I guess it's a B because he wasn't like a negative out there. He just was, foul prone in the early onsets of the game. So
I can go with a B. We won. And maybe this is just total feeling. I have zero stats to back this up, but it does feel like the difference between him and D'Lo is D'Lo would have a game where he shot 6 of 10 from 3, and then he would go 1 of 12 for 3 on the next game. And so like he would go back and forth. He'd have like one really great shooting game, 7 of 12 from 3. And then he goes 1 from 12, 1 of 9, 1 of 8. And then he has another good game where it's like 6 of 10. It's just all over the place. And Mike Conley's just an adult that comes in and is consistent every night and at least gives you like a couple threes, and maybe it's not on super high efficiency, but it just gives you like, I don't know. It just gives you a chance every night as opposed to once every 3 or 4 nights. Yeah. Obviously, you're not going to – it's not the same because D'Lo's got this possibility to like truly like win you a game because he can take over as an offensive threat. But like obviously we have a lot of offensive threats. So like having Conley just be consistent and giving the other guys opportunities to really shine I think is that's why from the get-go of the trade for Conley, it just like made sense to me because I was like, I don't know, we just need a steady hand, not somebody that could score 31 night and 10 the next.
Totally. And his month in January was awesome. Like, and so like his stock rose, and that's why the D'Lo trade was probably the best we could get because he was going to walk for free.
Yep.
Conley brings another thing to the table, and that's just not offense. It's not being a decoy on defense, not having to overcompensate on defense. He's actually one of our. I've said this last night. Like, we have so many traits to our team. Yeah. Defense is like there, and every single one of our players, maybe sans like Jalen Noel and Naz Reid to an extent, are like defensive first players, like or have defense in their DNA. And so it's really awesome to see that. And so Conley has that in spades, and De'Aaron Fox went for 9 points in the second half, and he was popping off in that first half. I thought he was going for 40 for sure. And I was like, I don't know how we can contain him. And we contained him. It was awesome. And, of course, like there was help, but like, Conley provides so much more than just stats. And D'Lo is pretty much only stats. But anyways, we're going to stop talking about D'Lo at some point. But I feel like this has been a season to kind of like, understand our team, understand our roster, and like who do we have and what are we about? What is our identity? And we have transformed. Like the same team that we played against Sacramento is not the same team we had tonight, and that one loss where like Trey Lyles popped off in overtime, like we don't have that same team anymore. It's crazy how much growth this kind of like we have seen.
Yeah.
Sorry if I'm talking a lot. So I'll let you have the floor here with the next one. Jaden McDaniels, 40 minutes, 8 for 15 from the floor, 20 points, 5 fouls as per usual, 2 steals, 2 assists, 3 rebounds, missed a free throw, as is tradition with all of our players. Do you have a grade for our boy Slim Sniper / Silent Storm? Seatbelt. I like seatbelt.
It's okay.
It's kind of like Ant approved,
Yeah, Ant definitely has a lot of lobbying power in my brain. Yes, I do have a grade.
Oh, and one poster. Sorry, that sounded a little orgasmic. And one poster. That poster got me fucking.
That was crazy.
That was crazy. That was insane. And I didn't even know he had it in him to do that at that moment in the game. That's like such an insane point in the game, too. Him and Nas doing that. That was so cool. All right. Great for a boy, Big Mac / seatbelt. In 3, 2, 1.
A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take the point.
I mean, this is great for him to come back after such a bad game last night where, like, I don't remember what we ended up grading him. Was he a Wancho?
Wancho.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think I called it a dumpster game. It was really bad. And it was just so disappointing last night because there was like national talks about how like he had some comment or video come out about him talking about being like the best defender in the league. And then he gets 5 fouls and gets 1 point on the night. Like sure, he had a good defensive possession near the end of the game, but like nobody's going to be like, oh yeah, that is the best defender in the league, you know? But tonight he comes out immediately and he scores 13 in the first quarter or something like that.
Totally.
Like, that's awesome, you know, and to have him be this offensive threat, as we've said, like if he can be an offensive threat too, this team is just so dangerous if he is on offensively and defensively. And if Ant is on offensive and like, it's just crazy. It's just crazy the potential this team has. And again, Jaden McDaniels I just have to remind everyone, he is 21 years old. So that's crazy. But no, I think this is just a great comeback game for him. And to be able to stay in the game, also, I mean, he did end up getting 5 fouls. Did you say? I can't remember.
Yeah.
But either way, like he was able to stay in the game, play tonight, and contribute, and that's a huge reason in why we win this game. If Jaden's not out there defending all these guys, you know, we are in a lot more trouble than we were already. So, no, this was a good game. I think it was an A game.
Yeah, totally. And he's like you can't switch on us because Jaden's going to be right there. You know, like Conley's going to be there. If not, it's going to be Edwards. If not, it's going to be Jaden. Like you can't switch on us.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty unreal. It's going to be another type of switch. It's going to be Cat and, you know, like they're small, you know, like that's what we're going to have to see. And we're going to see that a lot in postseason, I'm sure. Cool. I love that. And I don't have a whole lot of other commentary other than just that dunk was insane. Probably must be top play of the night from wow, you are moving. I am distracted.
I'm on the ground. I'm dying.
You're dying. You're on empty. Well, hey man, it's 12:30 Central Time, so we can kind of rush through the rest of this.
No, I was just laying on my feet. Sorry, I was just on my feet and I was dying on the ground.
Poor feet.
Better.
Anthony Edwards didn't change shoes tonight. And speaking of which, Anthony Edwards, 39 minutes, 6 for 15 from the floor, 17 points, 7 assists. So when his shot wasn't falling, he was figuring out a way. He had a couple plays to Gobert, which was awesome. 5 boards as well. I love the fact that he is just an all around.
He really is.
He comes from all angles. Yeah, and of course, why not miss a free throw here too? 17, 5 and 7. You have a grade for our boy Anthony Edwards. Is this the flu game? Is this never mind.
I guess this is the last one.
All right, that's a grade in 3, 2, 1. We're not really in sync anymore. I'm just giving him a B because I'm so happy that he was able to be like on the floor, like first of all, and play as many minutes as he did, and not 100% be a decoy. You know, but he was there and he was trying to, you know, get to the rim as much as he could. He went to the line 8 times. It's incredible, right? Honestly, it's so good to see when his shot wasn't fouling. And he found a way to like distribute 7 assists. Like that stat line is a slow-mo stat line from Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
Right. So,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I do want to interrupt this broadcast to say Jaden McDaniels.
Jaden McDaniels by Iceberg Waterbag.
Waterbag.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
I mean, I guess I don't know. I was thinking, and I still don't even know where I'd put him because it's kind of like I was saying the last game. Like I don't know where I put him in. Like, what do I expect out of Anthony Edwards coming off of injury and coming off in an illness? It's like, what am I expecting? I guess probably close to what he did, but then also tonight was better than last night, and I really hope that that's not because Towns was out. You know, I because that's the thing that I do worry about. Like, he was better tonight and a little bit more active and like not as lethargic as he was last night, but it was still like not 100% at times. But if he's
he was questionable. You said though he was questionable first of all, and he's on the back end of a back-to-back, and he played 40 minutes. You know, like there's a lot to be said about just like tired legs. Get to the ice bath. You're starting next. You're starting tomorrow.
Yep, that's true. That's true. I mean, I think a B is fair. I think you're right. I'm just like in my brain of like, oops, I don't know what I would expect out of somebody like that. And he played well. Like, he played some defense. I would say that there were a couple times where on defense I did see him just like there was one where he just left Kevin Huerter open for three.
Yeah,
and
I remember
that. Ooh, like, man, you can't just do that. We know you're a better defender than that. Like, don't do that. But
yeah, sometimes Domantas Sabonis has the offensive screen that doesn't get called with his butt or whatever the fuck he does. But
yes,
Edwards did a good job, I think, overall with his assignment. That I am just making up on the fly. Like, I don't know 100% what his assignment was, but who he was guarding.
Yep.
Cool. Rudy Gobert. 16 boards, 16 points. Pretty typical box score from our main man. Like, it feels crazy. 6 for 8 from the free throw line, where everyone else was failing. He was swishing them, actually. It's pretty crazy. You know what? And also, he just didn't take a 3 tonight. That's just our boy, just doing it right.
We're gonna get a 3 at some point.
4 assists, a couple block shots, and a couple ancillary stats as well. 16 and 16. Rudy Gobert. A grade in 3, 2, 1. Give him an A.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, because you want to give him a B. You wanted to give him a C. Oh my God, Cam. You want to give him a Wancho, Cameron.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess
this too.
I expect. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I didn't want that to happen, but then he did it.
Whenever he does that, I just laugh out loud when I'm watching. It's just and that's the one that bounced in tonight, didn't it?
Yeah, it went in tonight. Yeah.
Like, please stop doing
Soft
that.
touch. Yes, please.
I mean, it's fun to watch. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm somewhere in between B and C for a lot of players tonight, I guess. And since we won, I guess I should just go up to a B probably.
Yeah, I don't know 100% why I'm saying A, other than I think I'm like in absolute awe of what he's doing on the court at times. The little things that don't get tracked, the little things that I think he's asked to do. And I think his decision-making has improved tenfold since the beginning of the season. Like, yeah, he's still doing that crazy whatever the fuck rope-a-dope thing he did there. But, like, for the most part, he's not making ill-advised, stray voltage type plays. Yes. He's not trying to do the floaters and, like, the airball layups anymore. Like, I'm very happy with how he's being utilized. And I think he's taking it in stride too, because when he's involved offensively, he feels like he's engaged. And when he's just running up and down the court for $40 million, like, he's wondering what the fuck am I getting paid for, And it really, like, you can see it, like, he's getting boxed out in all sorts of ways that are borderline illegal, and they're not calling the falls, and he's still grabbing those rebounds with one arm, with one finger. He's tapping it to Kyle Anderson. I think there's a lot of credit that goes for like a one-man band just getting half the fucking rebounds,
Forgot about that. And that honestly brings me up to like a B+, because I was mentioning in the Discord, rewatch the game. He is fouled on every rebound attempt that he had tonight. Yeah. And it's not even just like, I guess you could call that a foul. Like, he is legitimately being thrown, grabbed, he's being pushed out of bounds. Like, and even after he gets the ball, he's like falling over every time. And you could probably make the argument that he's doing a little bit of selling on those, but like, he is legitimately being held on all of these, and it's just crazy. And I said something like, "Thank God he's 8 feet tall, because otherwise he's not getting these rebounds. Like, he's not getting it." This is the same. It's the same situation as like
when somebody like the refs will like wait for this to see if the bucket goes in, and if it goes in,
a couple of those
call it.
Fuck, man.
And if it doesn't, then they'll, that. So I guess if he didn't get the rebound, they might call a foul, but they're just kind of letting it happen. And I don't know. I just don't like it. So.
Well, anyways, with all that nonsense, we still get the dub. Like he plays through adversity. You ultimately get to pick our. What does Katie Storm say? Wait, what's her name? Yeah, Katie Storm. Yeah. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. It's a star tier list. But yeah, that looks pretty good for now. However, there's going to be one more player. And before we shout out, the player of the month, feels like, although Nas was apparently up for player of the week nominations, that's kind of interesting to see and hear about. Truly, it should probably be slow-mo. But before we talk about slow-mo in slow motion, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and join the Discord ! Like the blue banner says down below. And something about sharing the video. What? It's going in and out of. It's phasing. Oh my god, the multiverse. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Thanks for being silent. As we go to slow-mo for 36 minutes on the end of a back-to-back with no TP to, wipe his butt off. 15 points, 11 assists, 4 fouls, 1 turnover. That was this little travel, whatever. 2 steals, but it probably should have been 10. Did you know that 4 out of his 5 steals last night was in the last 8 minutes of the game?
Really? I had no clue.
Or 10 minutes of the game or something like that. Oh my god. So insane. We needed any of that, all of that. 5 for 10 from the floor, including 2 threes, which I wasn't expecting. And of course, patented missed free throw. It wouldn't have been an A1 game if he had made all those free throws. So
yeah, we've got a hostage situation for Mo going on here.
Yeah. So do you have a grade? At gunpoint.
At gunpoint.
In 3, 2, 1, A.
Okay, yeah.
1.
I just did an A.
I don't want to lose a single one of you.
Yeah. We can do it.
A1. Dude, honestly, we won. Fuck it. Mo was right.
We won. Subscribe now.
It wasn't an all-timer.
No.
But last night it was, right?
Yeah.
The week and the season he's been having for us has been an absolute A1. He can do no wrong. Even if he fucking falls on his ass, he somehow makes a play out of it.
Yeah.
And 11 assists for our boy Mike Conley, who all of our actions running through Kyle Anderson, and he's asked to start tonight, and tomorrow in the next game he's going to be asked to come off the bench and be this,
Mm-hmm.
And he's a walking triple-double potential, it's crazy. So, yeah, that's true, JJ. We don't have to actually grade him. He's just always an A1.
Mm-hmm. And he also coming out of in the beginning of the third quarter, he was making some buckets to keep it right off the bat. He hit a bucket, and then
10 points in the third quarter.
Yeah, and then he had that play that you were talking about where even if he falls to the ground, he somehow makes a play.
Yeah.
He's just the MVP. We've talked about it before. I mean, I guess you could make multiple cases for him and Nas, but they are just the MVPs of the season, and I'm just glad that we have Kyle Anderson going into this last stretch and going into the playoffs because it is huge.
Yeah. Crazy. What was this this time last year or the preseason, the year prior, who were the 3 most important players for our team? And we kind of we said Towns in passing, but we were really talking about D'Lo, Vando, and Ant or Jaden,
Yeah.
And who are the 3 most important players? Let's talk about it. Preseason, we kind of did, and it was Towns, it was Ant, it was D'Lo. We needed him to step up, and actually the answer is slow-mo, Jaden, and Nas Reed.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. Right.
It's a really weird turn of events, and it's also it's just crazy because this is pointless for me to even say, but I was kind of down on signing Kyle Anderson because I was man, this is the only move we're gonna make. This is I was this is just whatever. And he was playing a little bit less of a role in Memphis than he was for us. He starts playing a lot more for us. But Yeah, it's just been so good for us.
Yeah, I wonder what's going through his head. Like he's like Jim Peters, and like he must be having the time of his life. Like this must be very stressful for him. He needs to perform every game at this level. And Minnesota Mike, Magic Mike. I don't know. What someone else called him something else. That was pretty funny. I'm gonna scroll up and not to say anything until I find it.
Perfect. We'll just be silent because I have nothing else to add, other than Nathan Grella saying anti-Rudy post-COVID.
Money Mike. Sorry for interrupting you.
Yeah. We got a top-heavy tier list tonight. Lots of people above the expected line, and I think that makes sense because we were down Towns tonight, and that made me kind of sad. I was really thinking, I mean, like it made sense to me, and like obviously last game I was talking about how worried I am that Towns is even back in general, but so it makes sense for him to be sitting on the back of a night to night or what back to back night. I don't know what I'm saying.
You got it.
But so it makes sense, but it was also kind of like we were talking about in the Discord. Shout out the Discord. We were like, this is kind of like a scheduled loss. Like this is just like two really good teams that were playing in the heat of the season, like where everything matters the most. And Towns is injured, and so is Ant. Like Ant was questionable coming into the game as well, so it was like, man, we could be really down tonight. And like you mentioned, there's no TP. We were down, so it just felt like a loss. So we had to have everybody play better than we would expect out of them to win because the Kings are healthy and they've got all their best players playing. So thank goodness, though. It feels really good. Kind of crazy. We turned Kevin Love into Mike Conley and
Yeah, I'm trying to like do the whole like web of what we did. Ultimately, Wiggins for
oh my gosh, that's crazy.
D'Lo and Kuminga or whatever, and D'Lo for and well, we got 3 seconds. Can't forget about 3 seconds.
Yeah, that's a really weird part of that deal.
Yeah.
Okay, Nathan, that is like the craziest comment. I cannot stop thinking about it now.
And I guess didn't we trade OJ Mayo for Kevin Love?
So. Yeah, we traded OJ Mayo for.
I was at that draft party. That was the one and only draft party I went to as a season ticket holder for 1 year only because they were so bad. So the tickets were so cheap.
Yeah.
And OJ Mayo, I left that event so happy. And then like Alan, Horton on the radio said, "And there's a trade at like midnight," and I flipped my shit. Mike Miller coming into town too was pretty awesome.
Was that the year that they said, "Oh, whatever our draft pick is, like 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, that's how much season tickets will be per game"?
That's right. That's right. So I paid $3 per ticket. It was like pretty shit, like at the corner, but like
yeah,
I went to like 20 games. It was the time of my fucking life. I like worked like 5-6 blocks away, so it was so cool. I'm old as fuck, Moises, and he's less than old as fuck.
I am 31. I don't know. Somewhere in my
really 30s. Fuck.
1991.
Oh, yeah.
Ashwin's 80.
Pretty much. See this gray hairs?
Yeah.
I'm pretty old. I am whatever the fuck you want me to be, man. Cool, man. It was like De'Aaron Fox didn't take over the game in the fourth quarter. Domantas Sabonis had foul trouble. Had like 4 fouls in like 5 minutes. It was crazy. Had nothing going for him in the fourth quarter. It was Kevin Huerter. It was Malik Monk. It was like the others, and we were kind of stopping them in the early onsets of the game and like just closing out the game. We did it in stride. We did it with pride. It was awesome to see, and I'm very happy, very lucky to be a part of this roster, peaking at the right time, to be a fan of. Man, I could be a like stressed out Laker fan right now, but thank God I'm not. I could be a Atlanta fan. I mean, like, what the fuck is my roster, right? I don't know anything, and I'm not. We're not, and I think it's really cool to just like be really positive about this team right now because we were not early in the onset.
Oh yeah.
In the onset of the season, we had the 6-game losing streak, and I was like, blow this shit up. I don't want a part of any of this. Yeah. Keep Nas, I think I said, and like rebuild with everything else,
Yeah.
And
just a month ago.
It felt like a couple. Yeah. It felt very recent. Like I was down. I was like, I wasn't ready to do shows. I was like, hey Cameron, I'm gonna call in sick for the next week and a half. Like,
yeah, that was both of us.
Yeah.
We were both like, I just don't want to. I have no joy watching this team. And what are we talking about? We're talking about us jumping off. I saw this video of somebody else jumping off their couch last night at the game, and I was like, that was literally me. I was running around the apartment doing weird things that I would never do in public. And I'm like, man, this is fun, And tonight I did the same thing. I was like, I'm just gonna sit on the floor because I feel like I'm not gonna have the same reaction. I think the Kings are gonna be able to pull it out in the end. But then Jaden had the poster dunk, and I was just like, this is so much fun. Like, we are holding a lead, we're maturing, and we're winning huge games. These are just huge games that I thought normally Minnesota teams crumble in these situations, and we're just thriving right now.
Yeah.
Love it.
Cool. What's ahead? Wednesday, ahead? Phoenix.
Yes. Phoenix
at home
with Kevin Durant. That
what's he doing?
That could be an interesting little opportunity for us. This is like definitely looking at it with rose-tinted glasses, but it's like, when you're integrating a new player into a team like Kevin Durant, like that's a huge piece, and now obviously Kevin Durant is top 3 player in the league probably right now. I don't even know. That could be an underestimate, but he he's going to be huge for their team. But they might have some issues. Think of us in the beginning of this season with Gobert. We weren't particularly that great with Gobert and Towns and Ant and all of our offensive weapons. We were kind of bumbling around and stumbling. And it's instead, maybe that happens for them. Maybe we sneak in a win, because if we can beat the Suns on Wednesday, we are a half game back behind them.
Yeah.
And what seed are they? I can't remember. I got to pull it up now.
You're drunk. They're the 5 seed.
They're the 5 seed? Okay, I was like, wait, are they the 4 seed? They're the 4 seed.
They're the 4 seed.
Dude, that's crazy.
Wait, so who's the 5 seed? Clippers.
God, we're the 6 seed. Man. Okay, so yeah, we would be a half a game behind the 4th seed if we win tomorrow night. Or not tomorrow night, excuse me. If we win on Wednesday night. Wow. If you can, that's one that if you want to fight for, if you can get that 4th seed, then you have home court advantage in the playoffs.
Didn't you just talk about this like an hour and a half ago when we started the show? We don't want to be the 1-8-4-5.
Well, I was thinking that Phoenix was the 5 and that like it was down from there.
Oh yeah.
If you can get home court advantage, though, you do that. If you can get the 4 seed, you do it.
I'm happy we're here. I'm enjoying the moment. I'm not going to focus or worry too much about seeding.
Yeah.
I'm happy that we're out of the play-in momentarily. That might not last. So
it may not, because guess what? We're only 2 games out of falling out of the play-in. So that is scary.
Nice.
However, we've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games left. So we're good-ish, but as JJ mentioned earlier, we cannot let our foot off the pedal. We have to continue winning. You cannot lose more. You can't lose more than 4 games to finish the season. And honestly, if you do, you might fall out of the playoffs. You might fall out of the play-in. So you really have to be a 500 team minimum. Even though you've won these huge games, you have to still be a 500 team. You just have to.
We're 39 and 37 right now.
Yep.
To lose 4 games would mean we were 41 and 41. And like, what the hell, right? So we need to be above 500. We need to finish the season strong as ever. That Spurs game has to be just an absolute trounce, right? Pelicans game, last game of the season, we have to come to play as if our lives depend on it. Regardless of seeding, we need to win that game. Go into the postseason with heads held high. Like, don't rest anyone, right? Speaking of rest, though, like on Wednesday, what do we do here? Like, is Ant actually going to play? Like, should we rest him and as we sub in Towns and just keep Slow-Mo out there? And
I think everybody plays Wednesday. I thought the same thing earlier.
I think so too.
But I do think everybody does play Wednesday. I think we're just in the mode where everybody's going to play if they can. And, I think Ant is legitimately, or I think he's back and he's fine. Like, he's not injured anymore. Maybe he's sick or slow or something. But I think we can probably expect, if barring back-to-backs, which we only have one more back-to-back, which is the last 2 games of the season. Both matinee afternoon games, by the way. Disgusting. But
really?
Yeah, it's 3:00 Central and then 2:30 Central games. That's disgusting. I hate that. Saturday, Sunday. But maybe a fun exercise. I mean, it's really hard to guess, but 6 games left. Suns, Lakers, Blazers, Nets, Spurs, Pelicans. What do you think our record is? And chat, you can also participate. What do we think our record is going to be in the last 6 games of the season? You don't have to guess seeding. You just guessed our record.
I mean, okay, so 2-4 is worst case?
Worst case is, yeah, I think you have to beat the Blazers. There's no way you can lose against the Blazers. Also, that's a home game. Also,
I think they're sitting out Dame. I think they're sitting out Dame for the rest of the season.
He is going to be sitting out because they're just losing. They lost by like 20 or 30 tonight.
God. I feel for the Portland fans, man.
The Spurs, we have to win that game. It's in San Antonio, but we just have to win that game. You can't.
They're starting like Keita Bates-Diop, right? Like so, like
and we can't lose. 3 days rest going into that.
Can't lose to the hyphen, man.
We can't lose to the hyphen. So those 2 games, I feel like have to be wins. Now you could also argue that the Lakers game on Friday at home should be a win. We are better than the Lakers. But LeBron is back, and this is where it gets into problem, because if D'Lo has one of those games that I'm talking about where he scores 30 and he goes 7 of 12 from 3, that's going to be a little hard to overcome. And then you're going to have the Vando. You're going to have Beasley, who suddenly decides to like hit 5 threes or something. These things can happen on any given night, which is what we said a lot last season with the team with them on it. Any given night we can beat anybody, but how confident are we every single night? Not very confident.
Not sure. So, yeah.
It's just a flip of the coin, and that's what I don't like about it. But if we're fully healthy, we should beat them. So I mean, worst case scenario, you're going 2-6 or 2-4. I think a very modest expectation is 3-3, and anything above 3-3 is huge wins. Yeah. You're just so well. You're just so well off for the rest of this for the playoffs, and you're making.
So 3-3 would put us 42-40.
It's crazy.
That's fucking nuts, man.
It is nuts, and I think I have to like reframe my thinking about it though, because like everybody is 42-40 right now. Like that's what it looks
project.
Like. Yeah. Like the West, like we're talking about the 4 seed, but we could possibly be the 4 seed and be 42-40. Like that is not out of the question.
Maybe Vegas had us right, man. Like when we had like 45 wins, they had us at 45 wins and the 4 seed.
Yeah.
So we're gonna win out.
But yeah, no. I think I don't want to say I'm guessing 3-3.
Nathan says 43-39.
Okay. Yep.
Noah asks, why did Grady post a photo of Midsummer? I don't know.
Noah, we're all in the same boat. We don't understand, but it's Grady, so we liked it.
We liked it,
yeah. I really don't want to be optimistic, because every time I'm optimistic, it goes against me. But it really feels like we should go 4-2. I don't know what to expect from this game tomorrow. I guess it is tomorrow, technically.
That'd be 8-2 in our last 10.
That would be fantastic.
And we were like, do you see our schedule in March?
Yeah.
Do you see our schedule?
Pretty confident that we might miss the play-in.
Mm-hmm.
And now we may. Yeah, JJ, they've burned me too many times.
Sure.
I'm just like.
Well, we probably could have just spared in 70 minutes and should have just said the words W or the letter W, because that's actually correct. 4 winners of 4 straight. You can't spell Timberwolves without 4 W's. Don't look it up. And it feels good. It feels good to have this kind of high and level of contentment. Like our defense is kind of rising and out of nowhere, honestly. Like I did not expect this kind of team to show this type of grit. And the leaders, the winners win. Our vets are here to. They're here to they want to win with us, right? Wolves after dark. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just rambling.
No, I mean we've just got excited. This is just like such a fun time because we're actually playing in like the clutch moments. Yeah. What is this comment?
It's awesome.
So,
A1 comment.
This is an A1 comment, Casper. My goodness. Yeah, I guess I don't really have that much else to say. The one thing I will say is if you're new here, please do subscribe. I think most of you are probably regulars at this point, but if you're new here, subscribe. We're going to be doing this after every game going forward.
Forever.
And we're going to have so much off-season content, you're never going to know what to do with yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're talking about off-season, and it's not even the end of the regular season. Look how fucking woke we are. Redefining the meta. With moving cameras and
I shouldn't do that. I don't know why.
Crotch cam. What are we doing here?
What are we doing? What are we talking about? Anyways, we need a beam-like tradition. So Nathan, last year, I think Nathan, you were here last year, I think too. But the Timberwolves need that. But on our show, our thing was Gerald said that we were going to get 52 wins, Gerald in the Discord. So we said 52 wins and intro is the outro after this. This year it's turned into 42 wins, which is still possible.
It is still in play.
It is still in play. Should do A1 for subs deal. I'm not exactly sure what that means, JJ.
Talk to us in the Discord.
I don't know. But anyways, I think that's it for us. We're kind of rambling at this point, and I'm tired. So I want to go to bed.
Okay. I want to do hour 2.
Hour 2.
Watch the game.
Let's
just like rewatch the game. You know, like No Dunks does this after, like this watch party thing that they do. I don't know exactly what they're called. We could do one too, like live post game. It's 1:00 in the morning. You guys got shit to do, man. I definitely got nothing to do.
Yeah, and we could also, if anybody ever wants to do like a live watch party, we could maybe try that sometime.
Yeah, you could join Dane Moore in the bar that he promotes too.
Yeah, we could. Everybody meet at the bar in Seattle where we are. We'll all go to B-Dubs.
Yeah.
Anyways, again, I'm getting off track. 42 wins. Still in play. Do you have any final words, Ashwin?
Intro as the outro.
Intro as the outro. Well said. We will see you Wednesday night. Bye-bye.